Well, with each new release of gCADPlus, we're trying to give you tools that make the landscape plans that you produce look just a little more like hand-drawn. And we've taken it a little further in the current release of gCADPlus, and we've provided you now with options that put gradients and point floods through closed entities. They can be any entity. Here, for the sake of argument, is my attempt to draw a pool that you see on the right-hand side in the hand-drawn drawing. And if we select that closed polyline and scroll down, you'll notice with some new options here. You can pick a linear or a point option, and you can notice the difference between them, but let's stick with linear, and we can vary the gradient length. And if you watch in this area here, as I change the gradient length, maybe you will we'll halve it to 25. Can you see the flood colour through here? The gradient changes quite dramatically. Let's pump it up and we go in the opposite direction, so you can play with gradient start colour and end colour to get the sort of result you want. But those tools also apply to symbols that you might like to make. So here, number 1 is a symbol being used by this drafter, and what I've tried to do here is to simulate how that might look. And if I pick, say, this gradient through here, it's a point gradient and it's got a gradient length of 90%. And you can further play with things by, we pick this one here. This is just a point gradient, but you could change and take these gradients off and say we'll set a colour here, not 255, but let's just pick some sort of colour that goes somewhat closer to the central area there. And if I click away, it'll be a bit too dark at the moment, but we can come in here and we could set the transparency, say something like 75. And so I'm experimenting with the various ways of adjusting the colour here. Now, notice how the yellowish colour in the centre goes to the outside. You might want to pick that one and just increase its size a bit, like so, and that's somewhat like the symbol. The same applies here. There's the trunk through here, and I've tried to do somewhat the same for number 3. You've already got in gCADPlus now a whole series of these gradient symbols, we call them, and you can see here they're being used as a path through there. There's a lawn, there's a gradient running through the lawned area, but I'm also able to apply a hatch pattern. Let's double that. Looks a little less imposing there, and we've got some shadowing. And those symbols are already in here. Just go to Plants, Standard, and go to Gradient, and here are quite a number of gradient symbols that we've loaded in this current version of gCADPlus, and there are about 50 or 60 of them. That's a nice one. So let's open it, and it's already in here. We'll say yes to all, insert it in the drawing, and we can pop it down, say near the path here, and scale it if we wish. Pick it, right click and scale. We can make a 2 metre diameter version of that plant. So I hope you like the newer features in gCADPlus, and it does cost us programming time, but because you all contribute to the development of gCADPlus, when we build enough dollars in the bank, we try and add these sort of features, and there's quite a long list of features that our gCADPlus users would like to add to the software.